Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh plays the trusted ally of the DMK, gives them time by reserving 2 seats in the region. A brave M. Karunanidhi says the reshuffle is not complete yet and adds the issue of DMK ministries will be discussed in the General Council meet. So even as the big meet comes up in 11 days, ruling party pushes theirs to the end of the month. A tactical move. The division bench of the Madras High Court says that assets of IAS officials are declarable under the RTI Act.
An applicant asking for the assets declaration, the IPRs of any IAS officer by name will have to be allowed to inspect the asset declaration or even be given copies of it.
The state cabinet retains the creamy layer within the ambit of the 69% reservation in the state. A government order is passed after the resolution. Actress Ranjita files a complaint against a section of the media for featuring footage allegedly of hers, but media sources deny charges. And fueling auto growth, the state government gives a sprawling 50 acres at the bustling Oragadam to Aisha. Let's also bring you some of the national stories we're tracking at this hour on the news tonight. In UPA2's reshuffle, 7 new faces figure. Jairam Ramesh gets promoted and hands over charge to Jayanti Natarajan. Sachan's boss, former CMO Shukla, is arrested in Lucknow for financial irregularities in handling of National Rural Health Mission. 6-year-old Roshan, whose mother went missing after the Kalka train disaster, is reunited with her father, but her mother is dead. And on a road trip from Mumbai, the cast of Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara finally end their journey in Gurgaon. Now, just when we were beginning to think about the missing southern ally of the UPA in the big swearing-in picture today and whether it started to speak of cracks in the 7-year-long marriage of the 2 stalwart parties, the Prime Minister came right to the rescue. Right after that big reshuffle, in fact, hours after that, Dr. Manmohan Singh has said that 2 seats have been reserved for the DMK. While the top political leader in the country looked accommodating with the DMK, he has asked the party to come out with their decision soon enough. Now, speaking on that reshuffle, Dr. Singh hoped that it was the last major reshuffle before going to the polls. But in a very significant statement that came from Gopalapuram today, the DMK patriarch looked optimistic as he said that the reshuffle was not complete yet. Here's what's been brewing between the 2 partners in this 7-year-long marriage.
The second cabinet reshuffle in UPA2 and DMK is nowhere in the picture. And all that the DMK patriarch Karunanidhi had to say was this: the reshuffle is not complete yet, did not ask for any replacement portfolio from Pranab. But what is significant is Karuna's next line: we will decide on all issues relating to centre and ministers in our General Council meeting. This is the first time in 7 years that the DMK is not saying that all is well with its ally, the Congress. A point not lost on the Congress.
This alliance is there, the alliance will continue and it will be strengthened.
And clearly Kanimuri and not cabinet berth is the top agenda for the DMK today.
Any replacement?
No, we have not decided anything over that.
DMK's Rajya Sabha MP and Karunanidhi's favourite daughter Kanimuri has been languishing in Tihar jail for over a month now. However, it seems that the Congress has not forgotten its southern ally. An hour after the swearing-in ceremony, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh said 2 berths were reserved for the DMK in the UPA government. He said, and I quote, "We hope they make up their mind soon." Even the Prime Minister may have to wait a while, until July 23rd, when the DMK stand will become clearer. Will it pull out its ministers or will it accept the 2 berths and let the marriage of convenience continue? Bureau Report, NDTV Hindu.
Meanwhile, in what may be seen as a tactical move, the AIA-DMK has decided to postpone its own executive meet to the 30th of July. That's just a week after the DMK's own meeting. Now, this is the first big meet post the May polls that also celebrates the thumping victory for the AIA-DMK. But let's just get you that big headline from today, from that big cabinet reshuffle that took place at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Jairam Ramesh has left the Environment Ministry, albeit with a promotion. And Veerappa Moily has been replaced as Law Minister by Salman Khurshid. Jairam Ramesh, credited with revving up the Environment Ministry, has been promoted to cabinet rank with the critical Rural Development Ministry. But the big four ministries, Finance, Defence, Home and External Affairs, remain unchanged, and as anticipated, no replacements have been announced for the vacancies created by Dayan Dimaran or even A. Raja, both from the DMK, who have resigned over corruption charges. Mr. Moily, who will move to Corporate Affairs, exits the Law Ministry at a time when the government has been reprimanded in a glut of cases by the Supreme Court. Jayanti Natarajan, former Congress spokesperson, will now handle the high-profile Environment Ministry as a Minister of State with independent charge. As expected, Dinesh Trivedi of the Trinamool Congress has been given the Railways Ministry, a cabinet rank post vacated by his party chief, Mamata Banerjee, after she was elected West Bengal's chief minister. Now, a new face in the cabinet this time around is Milind Deora, Mumbai's young MP, who has been made Minister of State for Communications and Information Technology. The Madras High Court has reserved the judgment in the common syllabus case as per the directions of the Chief Justice. The arguments of both sides concluded today. The first bench heard the case for almost 20 hours since last Thursday. The minutes of the 9-member expert committee meeting on common syllabus was also submitted as directed by the court. Now, the government side argued that the state government has not abandoned the uniform syllabus of education as claimed. On the petitioners' side, it was argued that the action was politically motivated and misuse of legislative power by the present AIADMK regime.
The earlier committee constituted by the DMK government has approved the syllabus as well as the textbooks on the one and the same day. It is unfair. It reveals that the committee constituted by the DMK government did not apply the mind without application of mind routinely, and without knowing the contents of the syllabus, and without knowing the quality of the textbook, and without taking into account the welfare of the student of the Tamil Nadu, it has been approved.
Moving on, after judges and politicians, IAS officers are the next to be asked to exhibit transparency to the people of India. The Madras High Court passed orders today in a writ appeal filed by an RTI activist against exempting IAS officials from declaring their assets. The petitioner had declared that being government servants, these officers should have to be open as well. The current stand until now has been that the State Information Commission ruled against declaration of assets of these officers, but this was earlier upheld by a single judge of the Madras High Court, but now comes against that particular order.
Now, the details is the appellant Madhav had asked for information on the assets details declared under the Government Service Conduct Rules, which every IAS officer is supposed to declare, and it is kept in a sealed cover. He had asked for those details vis-a-vis 10 IAS officers from the Tamil Nadu cadre. Now, it was denied to him by the Public Information Officer on grounds that it is covered under some secrecy clause under Section 81J of the Right to Information Act. Now, he went on appeal, and finally the Information Commission also held that non-disclosure is legally fine. Now, we actually filed a writ petition against the Information Commission's order, and the writ petition was dismissed, against which there was a writ appeal. And today, division bench consisting of Justice D. Murugesan and Justice K.K. Sasidharan ordered that information pertaining to assets by IAS officers has to be disclosed under the Right to Information Act, and that, keeping in view a whole lot of Supreme Court judgments on the right to information and transparency in governance, the division bench today said, set aside whatever was dismissed, the dismissal order by the single judge, and held that this information has to be disclosed, and said that an applicant asking for the assets declaration, the IPRs of any IAS officer by name, will have to be allowed to inspect the asset declaration or even be given copies of it, even though they are in a sealed cover, in the interest of transparency and in the interest of democracy.
Now, NDTV Hindu also went over to some of the IAS officers in power now. The Development Commissioner of Tamil Nadu government, for one, welcomed the move.
When someone like us is in public service, and whatever we do will have to be quite open to the public. In my 30 years of experience, I certainly find that there is a very increasing tendencies on the part of the bureaucrats to accumulate wealth. That is very much there. Accumulate wealth beyond their means.
Now, in quite a significant move by the Chief Minister J.J. Lalita today, the Tamil Nadu Cabinet has decided against the exclusion of the creamy layer from the ambit of 69% reservation that's been practiced here in the state. The Tamil Nadu Backward Classes Commission had collected data regarding the creamy layer following orders by the Supreme Court. Amma has said that it was the Commission's decision to not amend the 1994 Act for the 69% reservation that was designed for reservation benefits. A government order has been passed for this cabinet resolution. In a move to improve the living conditions of the Dalit students at the government-run hostels across the state, Amma has generously decided it is time to give the students their rights to clean and comfortable accommodation away from their homes, ordering an allocation to the tune of 76.33 crore rupees to the 1,059 Dalit student hostels. Jayalalitha has kept up with her promise in her election manifesto. In fact, NDTV Hindu reported on the poor living conditions at these hostels. But today's development comes as a final sign of relief, as Amma ordered a review after assuming office earlier in May and reiterated that these funds would go towards maintenance and infrastructure. When we come back on the news tonight, it may be time to live like the Jetsons did, take a ride on this flying car, but that's when we come back in just a bit.